Kate Daly Show.
Coca-Cola, he said, I know you, you know me. One thing I can tell you is you've got to be free.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Kate Daly Show. Over 26.5 million served, and appreciate you tuning in. We have a special guest. I have a special guest, and I really love Lara Logan because she just says it, and that's really a rarity today. I wonder how many people realize how rare this actually is to be that bold and courageous. And I don't say that about too many people. So I absolutely adore you, Lara Logan. And I wanted to get your thoughts, you bet, on the election. When I say the election, what do you want people to know?
Well, I'm just looking at the election landscape right now, and it's kind of staggering in a sense because you have one candidate actually going in front of people saying things like, we're the underdog.
Yeah.
And that's not the language of victory and strength. That's when you have the upper hand going into an election, you don't say that kind of thing.
Right.
So that's like an admission that you're losing.
Right.
Which was really interesting to me to hear. Kamala Harris, of course, was the person who said that. And then you look at how there's just a rise. There's been really a revolt against the tyranny of censorship and public shaming and everything else. 2016, 2020, people were afraid to say that they supported Donald Trump. They were afraid to challenge the narrative that he's a racist. Now you've got, dark MAGA, blacks for Trump, Latinos for Trump,
right.
One group after another, Afghans for Trump. I mean, if you can think of a minority in this country, they're voting for Donald Trump, and they're very vocal about it. And they're voting in numbers, obviously not everybody. But then the most striking thing that I saw, which really took my breath away, is I could not believe when those two young students yelled out, "Jesus is Lord and Christ is King" at a rally, and Kamala Harris actually stood there and mocked them.
Yes.
Because every believer, whether it doesn't matter what your faith is, right? I mean, could you imagine a Muslim if you were standing up there mocking Allah,
right,
or the Prophet Muhammad?
Yeah.
I mean, that just would be.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be absolutely unacceptable to almost any religion on earth.
Right.
Okay, and for them to do the fake, trying to drag her to a church the following day, to sort of repair the damage. Well, first of all, you've now admitted that you messed up. You now have
Bingo.
Basically, you've admitted that you have a problem, and you're trying to cover it up. But it's so transparent. So what we see around us all the time now is that the old tactics are no longer working. I mean, I think even MSNBC and NBC News has been forced to report on how disenchanted people are with the current state of affairs, and they're not voting for Kamala Harris. When you see MSNBC putting people out that actually they've got a group of voters in front of them, and the reporter is saying, "So, any of you voting, for her?" And they're one after another, they're all like, "No chance, no way."
Right.
I mean, these people are vetted, okay, before they're brought on the show. So that means that their hold on information, the dominance that they enjoy, has been broken, no small part because of X and Elon Musk, but that's not the only way, right? It also shows you that their backs are against the wall. And every time Trump steps out the door, it's record numbers of people showing up at his rallies. So, and he has never looked healthier or stronger. So when you see the narrative coming from the other campaign that says, they're trying to say that the guy is losing it, and he's he's old and he's tired and he can't keep up the pace. It has the reek of desperation.
It does,
because you can't even think of anything else to say except for something that is so strikingly untrue and easily provable.
Right.
So that's, in terms of the information piece, that's what I see. The other thing is that what's really interesting is that people are going to vote early, and they're already finding instances where the machine is not recording their vote for the presidential candidate, or their vote is being flipped, and they are being vocal about this. And this is probably the most important thing that I would say to people, because regardless of the outcome of the election, none of us are served by corrupt elections.
Right.
And for those people who still cling to this fallacy that there was no vote fraud or no provable fraud or no significant fraud in 2020. I mean, I can't help you.
Right.
You haven't done your homework. You're not facing reality, and you're on your own. For the rest of us, I mean, we recognize that any kind of cheating, especially at scale, is going to destroy everything that we hold dear. There will be no rights, no Bill of Rights, no freedom, nothing.
You're right.
None of it will survive if we allow elections to be dictated and stolen by small groups of people.
I'll be right
who
back.
think that they know better than us.
You're right. I'll be right back. More with Lara Logan. Be right back.